The stars stretched across the sky like scattered diamonds, cold and distant, but Earth's brightest minds had always dreamed of reaching beyond them. Captain Aidan Shaw stood on the observation deck of the exploration vessel Endeavour, staring at the uncharted planet ahead. It was a green-blue world, untouched by human hands, orbiting a star that shone weaker than Sol but held enough warmth to promise life. For years, humanity had speculated about intelligent alien life, and now they were about to find out for themselves. The mission had been simple in theory: explore, observe, and report. But as Aidan gazed down at the swirling clouds and emerald forests, a sense of anticipation filled the room. Something about this planet felt different. The onboard AI Artemis had picked up signals, subtle rhythmic pulses that hinted at something alive and perhaps intelligent. The crew had been briefed that caution was essential, but excitement coursed through their veins, harder to contain than fear. "Captain, sensors are showing unusual energy readings near the northern forest," Lieutenant Mara Chen said, her fingers flying over the console. It's almost like the signals are responding to our presence." "That's exactly what we want. Prepare the landing craft, we'll investigate." As the crew stepped off the craft, their boots sank slightly into the soft, moss-like ground, and the forest seemed to watch them, almost alive in its silence. "Stay alert," Aidan said, scanning the edge of the trees. "We don't know what we'll find." There, emerging from the mist between the silver trees, was a figure unlike anything they had seen. It wasn't human and it wasn't mechanical. Its skin, or whatever covered it, glowed faintly, wet like dew in the morning sun, and it seemed to shift colors with every subtle movement. Its eyes were large, reflective, and intelligent. It tilted its head curiously, as if it had been expecting them. "Do not approach too quickly," Aidan cautioned. Yet something about the creature's stance was not threatening. It held a hand or limb they weren't sure toward them. It was an invitation, delicate and deliberate. The creature spoke, though not with words as humans understood them. Its voice was a soft vibration, felt more than heard, and somehow the crew could understand the meaning. "Stop staring if you want to touch it," it said. The phrase repeated in a chorus, echoing inside their minds rather than the air. Mara swallowed hard. "Touch it." It was a crystalline device, translucent and pulsing with soft blue light. Artemis's voice cut through the tension. "Captain, sensors indicate extremely high energy within that object. Caution advised. However, it does not appear to be hostile." The machine hummed softly, lights flickering as it processed the alien material. Data streamed into the device, showing a complex energy signature unlike anything humanity had ever recorded. "It's incredible," she whispered. "It's alive in some way, it's reacting to our presence." It allowed Mara to place her hand lightly on the crystal. The moment she did, a ripple of energy passed through her, not painful but overwhelming in sensation. Images flashed in her mind: vast oceans, towering structures, other beings moving in harmony with the world. Emotions poured through her: curiosity, hope, and a strange familiarity. Aidan felt it too, a subtle connection that left him breathless. "It's communicating," he said, awe in his voice. "Not with words, but with feelings and images." Vines retracted, revealing a path through the trees that led to a shimmering pool of water. The air was alive with the planet's rhythm, and for the first time the crew realized that the world itself seemed aware of their presence. "Captain, I think it wants us to follow," Mara said. "This might be a form of guidance." With every step, the forest shifted subtly, making their way easier while keeping a sense of mystery. The alien moved ahead, gliding gracefully over the moss, the crystal pulsing in soft blue light, casting reflections across the trees. At the edge of the pool, the alien paused. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the sky and the glowing trees around it. Without warning, it extended the crystal toward them. "Touch," it repeated. The word resonated in their minds again, urging them to act. Aidan glanced at his team. "We don't know what this will do, but we came here to explore. Proceed carefully." A holographic image rose from its surface, depicting scenes of civilizations across the galaxy. Some were advanced, with towering cities of glass and steel. Others were natural, communities living in harmony with their environment. All were connected by streams of energy similar to the pulses from the crystal. "It's showing us a network," Mara whispered. "A connection of life across the stars." Suddenly the water pulsed, and a sound filled the clearing, not noise but thought, a mental vibration. The alien spoke again, slower this time, as if ensuring they understood. "Learn, understand, protect." The crystal floated slightly above its palm, then released a small, glowing fragment into Aiden's hand. The fragment hummed softly, a beacon and a key to understanding. "Captain, what do we do now?" Mara asked, eyes wide. "We return to the ship and analyze this," Aiden said, though a part of him wished they could stay forever in this moment. "This is bigger than any mission we've ever undertaken. Humanity is standing at the edge of something incredible." As they returned to the landing craft, the crystal fragment pulsed gently in Aiden's hand. It was a reminder, a message, and a challenge. Humanity had much to learn, and this planet, this alien, was only the beginning. Aiden looked back once at the forest, remembering the words that echoed in their minds: learn, understand, protect. He knew that the journey ahead would test them in ways they had never imagined. But for the first time, he felt a surge of pride. Humanity had taken its first real step into the wider universe, not through force, but through curiosity, courage, and the willingness to connect. The Endeavor lifted from the clearing, leaving the shimmering forest behind. Yet the memory of the alien's presence and the strange, pulsing crystal remained. It was a reminder that humanity's story among the stars was just beginning, and that they were capable of more than anyone had believed. And somewhere in the forest, the alien watched, knowing that the humans had chosen wisely. The connection had begun, and with it, a future full of possibilities. The Endeavor hummed softly as it hovered above the planet, its engines creating small ripples in the mist rising from the forest below. Inside the cabin, Captain Aiden Shaw held the glowing fragment of the alien crystal in his hand. Its soft, pulsing light seemed alive, a heartbeat of the planet itself. Every time he touched it, he felt a subtle warmth, and the faint rush of energy seemed to whisper promises of discoveries yet to come. Lieutenant Mara Chen sat across from him, her scanner devices still running, collecting every data point they could. "The crystal fragment is unlike anything we've ever seen," she said, eyes wide. "It's intelligent, almost like it knows we're studying it. Look at this." She pointed to a holographic display showing intricate energy patterns flowing through the fragment. The patterns moved, adjusting as if responding to their attention. Artemis, the ship's AI, interjected with a calm, precise voice. "Captain, analysis suggests the fragment contains information in a form that resembles a language, though it is non-verbal. It communicates through energy resonance. Prolonged exposure appears to enhance understanding of complex systems. This could change everything humanity knows about the universe." Outside the viewport, the forest shimmered in the soft light of the planet's sun. The silver leaves swayed gently, though there was no wind. The world felt alive, and more than alive, it felt intelligent. Aiden spoke finally. "We need to go back down. We need to understand this planet firsthand. Sensors and scans can only tell us so much. The signals are unpredictable. The planet could react in ways we can't control." The planet below was no longer a distant view. It was a living, breathing world waiting for them to step inside. The landing was smooth, and the craft touched down near the clearing where they had first met the alien. The forest seemed to recognize them. The silver-leafed trees shimmered as if welcoming the visitors, and a soft hum vibrated through the ground beneath their feet. The fragment in Aiden's hand pulsed brighter, almost guiding them. "Follow the light," Aiden said quietly. The crystal's pulse seemed to sync with the rhythm of their steps, leading them through the forest. It wasn't just a guide, it was a connection, a silent communication between human and world. As they walked, Mara scanned the plants and animals. Each creature they encountered was unique, unlike anything catalogued on Earth. Small luminous insects hovered in the air, leaving trails of faint light. Birds with crystalline feathers glided silently above the treetops. The forest floor was covered in bioluminescent moss, and every step caused a subtle glow to ripple outward. "This is incredible," Mara whispered. "Every organism is connected, feeding information back into some central network. It's like a living library." Trees shifted, creating a clear path, but a low hum filled the air. The vibrations seemed to speak urgency. "Something's happening," Mara said, her voice tight. "The energy readings are spiking. The planet is alert." The path opened into a vast glade, dominated by a massive tree that towered hundreds of meters above the ground. Its trunk glowed faintly, and its roots spread across the clearing like silver rivers. The crystal fragment pulsed in response, resonating with the tree. "This must be the core," Mara said, awe in her voice. "The source of the planet's intelligence." "Welcome back," it said, its voice gentle but insistent in their minds. "You have touched, you have felt, you have understood. Now you must learn more." Inside, it communicated, is the history of my people and the knowledge of this world. You may take only what you are ready to understand. Do not rush. The interior was filled with soft light, walls lined with crystalline growths that pulsed rhythmically. The air vibrated with knowledge, and the crew felt their minds open slightly, allowing comprehension beyond normal human limits. Myra reached out and touched one of the crystalline panels. Instantly, images filled her vision. She saw the alien species, tall, graceful beings with glowing skin, working in harmony with the planet. Cities made of living crystal grew from the ground, energy flowing through them like water through rivers. Their society was built on cooperation, understanding, and the protection of their world. They never exploit, Mara whispered, stepping back. They live in balance with everything. The planet is not just a home, it is a partner. But more importantly, he understood the principle that guided them. Intelligence was not only in the mind, it was in connection, empathy, and respect for life. The alien watched silently, its eyes reflecting pride. Humanity has potential, it communicated. But potential is not enough. To survive among the stars, you must grow in understanding and wisdom. A warning signal, subtle but insistent, spread through the crystalline walls. The planet itself seemed to react defensively, creating small tremors and pulses of light. "What is it?" Mara asked, alarmed. The alien's form shimmered. "A disturbance approaches. Others from beyond your system seek to exploit, not understand. You must leave soon and carry knowledge back to your people. They must be prepared. Learn from it, and humanity may survive what is coming. We have to catalog everything. Every pulse, every pattern, every fragment of knowledge." The crew recorded the panels, interacted with the crystal fragment, and took careful samples from the forest outside the chamber. Each moment deepened their understanding, expanding their minds in ways that were subtle but undeniable. By the time they emerged from the chamber, the sun had dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the forest. The alien creature waited silently at the edge of the clearing, its eyes glowing faintly in the fading light. It communicated once more. "You have taken your first lessons. You have begun. Return now and prepare. What comes will test not only your strength, but your ability to understand. Humanity will rise to meet this challenge." As the endeavor lifted, the crystal fragment pulsed in harmony with the planet, guiding them homeward. And in that quiet connection, Aiden felt the truth of the alien's words. Knowledge, courage, and understanding were the keys to survival among the stars. For the first time, humanity was not just exploring the universe. It was learning how to be worthy of it. The journey back to the endeavor felt strangely short. The crystal fragment pulsed gently in Aiden Shaw's hand, a steady rhythm that seemed to calm him even as his mind raced with the lessons of the alien world. Mara Chen sat nearby, her fingers tracing the patterns on her scanner as if trying to memorize every pulse of energy. The rest of the crew were silent, each lost in thought, contemplating the scale of what they had witnessed. "This is going to change everything," Mara whispered. "Not just technology or science, humanity itself. Others from beyond your system seek to exploit, not understand." That meant danger, and the fragment's pulse had grown slightly faster when he thought of it, a subtle alert he could feel through his hand. Artemis interrupted their thoughts with its calm, analytical tone. "Captain, sensors indicate multiple incoming spacecraft entering the system. Trajectories are consistent with reconnaissance, and energy signatures match known mercenary or hostile classes from nearby sectors. They are approaching your position rapidly." They were unlike anything Earth had built, fast, heavily armed, and clearly designed for efficiency in combat. Mara frowned. They must have detected the energy from the alien world or the fragment. Humanity isn't the only species seeking advantage in the galaxy. If we align our intentions, it might be able to create a defense or at least a distraction. Its black hull reflected the light of the distant star, and red warning lights blinked along its surface. Aiden felt the fragment pulse sharply, almost like a heartbeat reacting to the danger. "Focus your intent," Mara instructed. "Think protection, think coordination. Let the fragment guide you." Energy rippled outward, faintly visible as a blue shimmer across the deck. The crew instinctively followed, matching their thoughts with the calm determination of the fragment. It was unlike piloting a ship. They were piloting a connection, a resonance between human will and alien intelligence. The first hostile ship fired a series of energy pulses, bright streaks cutting toward the endeavor. Normally, they would have been vulnerable, but the fragment responded instantly. A wave of energy radiated from it, forming a shimmering shield around the ship. The pulses struck the shield and dissipated harmlessly. Unbelievable, Lieutenant Kavir Patel said, gripping the console. It's reacting faster than we can even input commands. Let's move. He guided the ship along a trajectory that threaded through the system's asteroid belt, the fragment's energy flowing outward like a living map. Each maneuver was precise, and the hostile ship struggled to predict their path. The second wave of attackers was closer, their weapons more aggressive, but the fragment pulsed in response, creating subtle distortions in space around the Endeavor. Light bent slightly, and sensors in the enemy ships registered interference. For the first time, the humans realized they weren't just surviving. They were using the fragment's power creatively, adapting and improvising. Captain, Mara said, voice tense, the fragment is showing a path through the nebula nearby. Energy readings suggest it can mask our signature, but it's risky. The nebula is dense. We could lose control if we aren't careful. Navigating it would require extreme precision, but the potential reward, escape and a chance to fight another day, was worth the risk. We trust it, he said. We follow its guidance. Slowly, miraculously, the Endeavor moved through the swirling clouds, enemy ships struggling to track them amid the interference. Outside the viewport, streaks of color from the nebula reflected off the ship's hull, painting the interior with shifting light. Aiden felt a sense of awe amid the danger. Humanity had always relied on ingenuity and courage to survive, and now they were combining those qualities with alien intelligence. The enemy fleet was not deterred. Sensors detected multiple ships breaking through the nebula's edge, closing in with renewed aggression. Aiden's heart pounded. This time, there would be no purely defensive maneuver. The humans would have to act. Fragment, Mara whispered. We need a solution beyond defense, something active. Each pulse targeted engines, weapon systems, and sensors, disabling them without destroying the vessels. The crew watched in awe as one ship after another faltered, unable to track or hit the Endeavor. It was subtle, non-lethal, but devastatingly effective. Humanity was not using brute force. They were using intelligence, adaptability, and strategy. They're learning, Aiden said quietly, more to himself than anyone else. The fragment is teaching them through us. Captain, Mara said, breathless, we need to understand what just happened. The fragment, it responded to thought, yes, but also to emotion. Confidence, focus, determination, it uses those as guidance. We're not just operators. It's teaching us to combine intellect with instinct, courage with patience. The aliens' presence was subtle but unmistakable, a silent acknowledgement of their success. Artemis reported, energy readings indicate the fragment has adapted during the encounter. Analysis suggests it now has a stored understanding of human strategy and behavior patterns. Future threats may be managed more effectively. But I have a feeling this is only the beginning. The alien had warned them that threats were coming, and now humanity had a taste of what it would take to survive among the stars. Courage, intelligence, adaptability, and connection, they had all been tested, and humanity had risen to meet the challenge. The crew knew that Earth itself had yet to understand the significance of what they carried. The fragment was not just an object, it was a responsibility. It represented knowledge, connection, and the potential for humans to rise beyond their limitations. As night fell over the alien planet, the forest shimmered in a gentle glow. The alien had not reappeared, but its presence was felt in every pulse of the crystal. It was as if the planet itself had acknowledged the humans' success and silently endorsed their progress. Aiden felt a surge of pride. Humanity was small, fragile, and untested, but in moments like these, they proved that curiosity, courage, and intelligence could make them formidable in ways the galaxy had not yet imagined. We've survived the first challenge, Aiden said to his crew. But the galaxy is bigger than we know, and there are others who won't hesitate to take what isn't theirs. We need to be ready, and we will be. And somewhere deep within the forest, the alien watched, knowing that humanity had begun to prove itself worthy. The test was not over, but the first step had been taken. Humanity had risen to the occasion, and for the first time the stars seemed not just distant and cold, but within reach. The Endeavor adjusted its course, preparing for the next phase of exploration. The alien planet below had given them knowledge, a tool, and a lesson in resilience. Ahead lay challenges far greater, threats that would test their ingenuity, teamwork, and courage even further. But for now, humanity had taken its first stand in the wider galaxy, and it had succeeded not through force, but but through thought, collaboration, and the indomitable human spirit. And as the fragment pulsed gently in Aiden's hand, he knew one thing with certainty. This was only the beginning of a story that would stretch across the stars, and humanity had already begun to write its mark. The Endeavor drifted in orbit above the alien planet, the crystal fragment pulsing softly on the command console. Its light reflected off the metal surfaces of the ship, casting faint blue patterns across the crew's faces. For days, they had studied the fragment, learning to read its subtle energy flows and feeling the connection it offered. Every pulse seemed to teach them something new about the alien world and, in turn, about themselves. Captain Aiden Shaw stood at the viewport, staring down at the forest below. The silver-leaf trees shimmered even from orbit, and the rivers glinted like molten glass. He could feel the planet's intelligence through the fragment, a faint rhythm of thought and awareness that reached out to him. He had never experienced anything like it before. "Captain," Mara Chen said, breaking his reverie, "the fragment is showing an anomaly. It's near the equatorial region, south of where we first landed. Energy readings are unlike anything we've seen. It's alive in a way that doesn't match the rest of the planet. The alien network seems to converge there. The fragment is pulsing faster, almost urging us to investigate." The crew could see the source of the energy from above, a vast expanse of crystalline structures, shimmering with blue and silver light, rising like mountains from the planet's surface. The structures were intricate, impossibly precise, and connected by filaments of glowing energy that pulsed rhythmically. "This is incredible," Mara whispered. "It's a city, but alive." The air hummed with energy, and the crew could feel a faint vibration under their feet. Aiden led the team forward, observing the patterns. The structures were smooth, organic, yet geometric, as if shaped by an intelligence that combined art and function perfectly. Every surface seemed to radiate energy, and Mara's instruments were overwhelmed by the readings. "Captain," she said, "the energy isn't just static, it responds to thought and movement. The city is aware of us." From the tallest crystalline spire, a shape emerged. It was the alien creature they had first encountered, gliding toward them. Its skin shimmered with more colors than they had ever seen, and it moved with fluid grace. "Welcome," it said, echoing inside their minds. "You have learned and you have survived. Now you must understand. This place is the heart of the world. Here, knowledge is preserved and energy is balanced." "What does it want us to do?" Walking into a living alien city was unlike anything they had ever imagined. Yet each of them felt a quiet reassurance from the fragment, guiding their steps. Inside the heart, the walls shimmered and shifted, displaying scenes of countless worlds and civilizations. Mara reached out, touching one of the crystalline surfaces. Images flowed into her mind, planets thriving, species cooperating, and others falling to greed or aggression. It was a visual history of the galaxy, encoded in energy patterns. "This is a library," Mara whispered, awed, "a living memory of the universe. Life is connected across the stars, and every action has consequence. You humans are young, you have yet to prove yourselves. This fragment was a test, the next will be more challenging. They will not hesitate to take, to destroy. You must prepare. If they take it, the planet could be devastated, and all knowledge lost. Adapt. Humans are capable of ingenuity beyond imagination, but only if they act with respect and courage." It was not magic. It was applied intelligence, natural and disciplined. Mara tested a small barrier along a pathway. It shimmered and expanded in response to her focus, creating a safe corridor through the structures. Aiden guided a platform to hover over a chasm, letting them reach higher levels without touching the fragile crystal floors. Every action was a lesson, and every mistake taught them humility. Hours turned into a full day, and as the sun of the alien world dipped below the horizon, the heart pulsed brighter. The alien spoke again. "You have learned much, but the intruders approach faster than expected. You must leave soon and prepare the world for what comes." "We'll do more than prepare. We'll prove that humanity can protect knowledge, life, and connection. That's what we do best. Learn to trust each other, and trust the connections you make." Back on the Endeavor, they studied the fragment and the data collected from the heart. Every pulse of energy, every visual pattern, every interaction was a lesson. They could feel the threat approaching through the crystal, a reminder that the galaxy was filled with those who valued power over wisdom. "Captain," Mara said, "we're learning faster than I thought possible." The fragment responds to thought, yes, but also to intent. If we think clearly, act decisively, and cooperate, it can guide us through anything. And when the intruders arrive, humanity will meet them not with fear, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. The galaxy was dangerous, unpredictable, and immense, but humans had something unique, the ability to adapt, to think, to learn, and to rise to challenges that no other species might face. Somewhere in the forest, the alien watched, a quiet witness to humanity's growth. The heart of the world had judged the humans worthy of knowledge and connection, and the tests ahead would determine if they were worthy of protection. The fragment pulsed in Aiden's hand, a steady reminder of what they had learned. Courage, intelligence, and cooperation were humanity's greatest tools. And as the Endeavor prepared for the journey back into space, the crew knew the galaxy had challenges ahead that would test every lesson they had just learned. But they were ready. Humanity was never just a species of survival. They were thinkers, adapters, and explorers. And the stars would soon know it. The Endeavor hung in orbit above the alien planet, silent except for the faint hum of its engines and the steady pulse of the crystal fragment on the command console. Captain Aiden Shaw studied the approaching fleet on the sensors. They were close now, dozens of ships moving with precision and intent. These were not explorers or scientists. They were predators driven by greed and power, seeking to seize the knowledge and energy of the alien world for themselves. Aiden's jaw tightened. All right, everyone, this is what we've been preparing for. This is where humanity proves what we're capable of. It's guiding us, but we have to act in sync with it. We can't hesitate. Intelligence, adaptation, and the fragment. We fight smart, not brute force. Think protection and strategy. Let the fragment guide your intentions. The crew watched in awe. Humanity was not merely surviving. They were directing the alien power with their own thoughts, intuition, and understanding. Every pulse of energy seemed to amplify their courage, their intelligence, and their unity as a team. "Captain," Mara said, "the fragment is showing a path through the asteroid field nearby. It can create interference patterns to confuse the enemy, but it's risky. Miscalculation could trap us or damage the planet below." The fragment pulsed violently, creating shimmering ripples across space that masked the ship's trajectory. Enemy ships struggled to follow, their sensors overwhelmed by the shifting energy patterns. Aiden guided the ship along the path, every movement synchronized with the fragment, every decision guided by both intelligence and instinct. The enemy fired again, but their attacks were scattered, deflected, or absorbed. Mara created energy barriers that extended across the hull, protecting critical systems. Lieutenant Kavir Patel used the fragment's resonance to project pulses that disrupted the enemy fleet's engines, causing several ships to drift harmlessly into the asteroid field. "This is incredible," Kavir whispered. "We're not just surviving, we're controlling the battle without firing a single weapon." "Captain, it's showing me something, a way to neutralize the rest of the fleet without destroying them. It's subtle, precise. We can disable their ships, not harm their crews, but stop them from taking the heart of the world." "Proceed." "They're retreating," Mara exclaimed, relief in her voice. "Yes," Aiden said, though he didn't relax completely. "We've won this battle, but the galaxy is vast. Others may come. We need to be ready for anything." The heart of the world pulsed in harmony with the fragment, as if acknowledging the humans' success. The alien creature they had met before emerged from the crystalline city, hovering gracefully above the structures. "You have proven yourselves," it communicated inside their minds. "Through courage, intelligence, and unity, you have defended what is precious. You have acted wisely, and you have grown. Humanity is not only capable of survival, it is capable of greatness. The fragment will remain with you, a guide and a key. Use it to learn, to adapt, and to connect. But remember, power without wisdom is dangerous. Protect knowledge, protect life, and act with courage." And so are we, in a way we never realized. Not just our bodies, but our minds, our courage, our ability to adapt and work together. That is humanity's true power. Each discovery reinforced what they had learned. Survival required more than weapons. It required intelligence, unity, and the willingness to learn and grow. By the next morning, the Endeavor prepared to leave orbit. The alien planet shimmered below, vibrant and alive, a reminder of the lessons they had been taught. Aiden looked down at the forest and crystalline city, feeling a sense of humility and pride. Humanity had proven itself not through destruction, but through courage, intelligence, and respect. "Captain," Mara said softly, "do you think they'll come back? The intruders, I mean." We've learned from the alien world and we've applied that knowledge. We're no longer just explorers, we're protectors, thinkers, adapters, and the galaxy will recognize that. Prepare the course back to Earth. We have knowledge, experience, and proof that humanity is capable of more than anyone imagined. This journey is far from over, but we've taken the first step towards something extraordinary. It was not just light or power, it was understanding, a quiet lesson in courage, unity, and intelligence. The crew felt it resonate deep within themselves, reinforcing everything they had learned on the alien world. Mara watched the stars streak by through the viewport. "Captain, I think we're ready for anything. The galaxy isn't going to scare us. We've learned how to survive, how to adapt, and how to protect. Humanity has grown. Not yet, perhaps, but the humans who had touched the alien world learned from it and defended it would be remembered. They had proven that even a young species, small and fragile compared to the galaxy, could rise to challenges others might fear to face." The fragment pulsed gently, a reminder of the bond between human and alien intelligence. It was a teacher, a guide, and a promise of the future. Humanity had taken its first real step among the stars, not through power or force, but through intelligence, courage, and the willingness to learn. Aiden looked at his crew, proud and confident. "We've done it," he said. "And this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, but humanity will rise." That is who we are. Humanity had proven itself worthy, not through domination, but through wisdom, courage, and the ability to rise to the challenge. The journey would continue, but the story of humans among the stars had begun in earnest, and it would be remembered for generations to come.